Before we left, we were going to talk about something. Bernadette was asking a question about should we expect more powerful hurricanes, and is that due to the heated water? You just showed a graphic talking about 86-degree water, so I don't know what.
It only takes 80.
Yeah.
86 is fairly normal. Harvey was over 86-degree water, and it's got to be 86 degrees about 150 feet deep. So it's got, or 80 degrees 150 feet deep. So it's got to be a good warm pool of water. And certainly we've had that. You can almost look at your swimming pools. You know, and it's like if you fly out of Houston, everybody has a swimming pool, it seems like. And it's generally the same temperature, if not warmer. During Katrina years, it was up to 90 degrees. So it isn't that. And that was in the center of the Gulf, so it isn't that. But 86, that will give you a Harvey, that will give you an Ike, that will give you a Camille, that will give you any kind of storm like that. And certainly the warm water is there.
And I always look at hurricanes or tropical systems like looking at a car, if you will. You have the engine, you have the tires, and you need the gasoline. And so this warm ocean water in the Gulf and the Caribbean and also the Atlantic, I look at that as the gas. And if you have a full tank of gas and it never runs out, that storm is always going to move, but you also need good tires to move, and that would maybe if you just think of wind shear, and if the wind shear is light, you got great tires, and you need a good engine, and so that would be other elements also, and so you need all of this to go together. And you just look at the past decade or so, 20 years, and you look at the gas in these storms, and it's an unlimited source of fuel that can really drive these storms.
And I think everybody's hearing this, that this year was hotter than that year, hotter than that year before, year before, year before. The hottest decade really on record is what we're living through right now. And so that means the warmest water on record, certainly. And that's where most of the warmth of the globe is stored, is in our oceans. And so it's plenty warm. What it takes, though, is a lack of wind. And if you know, and the Caribbean's always warm. That's why people love to go to the Caribbean in the winter, right? I mean, it's fairly warm. But it has very windy conditions. But those calm down, especially with La Nina in place. And then you've got the warm water, a lack of wind, and all you need are the seeds of an organized storm just to get going, some thunderstorms.
And several people ask, when are things going to cool down? They want to know already, okay, are we going to start having fall weather now?
Where's that cool front?
October 23rd as well.
That's right, the 23rd,
There's no way to really know that, though, right? I mean, we watch for that, but it's kind of difficult to find out.
I mean, I think that if you live here long enough, you sort of get a sense of what the pattern is. A lot of what we do in terms of weather is what's the pattern? You know, we know that by the time we get to May, we're probably going to be pushing into the 90s at that point, right? Obviously, this year we got a bit of a head start. May basically went, no, I'm done with spring. We're right into summertime, and we're just, plowing through ahead. So it's always about, we've talked about this. You get to the point where you get into early October. You're about, what, a third of the way through football season, and then we finally start to get that first Texas A&M game in early October where everyone is like, this is what we played for.
You get a lot of scares. It's interesting, though, what we saw last night was part of this old front, and next week it's going to be part of an old front. So these fronts are already getting closer to us than they have in the past. So we may see a mid-September, September 15th to 21st front come through. It's happened before.
Sure. From your mouth to God's ears, let's see what happens.
Yeah, right.
Hey, thank you all for sending in your questions, and thank you to our panel. We want to remind you that you can find our free hurricane and flood survival guide online at click2houston.com/hurricane.